Oh man, there is nothing better in the world than a pre-movie screening Maple Ice Cap Supreme from Tim Hortons. Oh, that punches me in the mouth with flavor. I am not endorsing Tim Hortons, nor am I being paid to endorse Tim Hortons. Someone called into question my Canadian heritage in a YouTube comment not too long ago, so I just wanted to come right out and say, so yeah, that's how nerdy and Canadian I am. I drink Maple Ice Cap Supremes from Tim Hortons before I go to a movie. Deal with it. Okay, now that I've gotten the discussion of pre-movie screening drinks out of the way, I am on my way to the cinema this afternoon, this Saturday. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. I'm going to go screen War Dogs. I like fact-based films. I also like fact-based films about the military and reality-based films about the military-industrial complex and weapons manufacturing and weapons dealing. Lord of War from nearly 10 plus years ago with Nicolas Cage was a film that tackled that very subject matter, and I think it was one of the best Nicolas Cage films before he went full-on ape-shit Cagean crazy on all of us.
Tell me! How to get burned! How to get burned! How to get burned! Ah!
I like the film's cast in War Dogs. Jonah Hill, I mean, the dude has come an awfully long way since playing the eBay store customer, and a rather creepy one at that, in The 40-Year-Old Virgin all those years ago.
Yeah, so I'd just rather buy them from you, straight up.
Yeah, I know. I wish it could be that easy, but...
I wish too, but you're making it extremely difficult for me. I'm just trying to get these shoes back to my house so I can wear them.
And Miles Teller, I'm telling you, man, he is one of the best pure actors of his generation, and I just want to come right out and say that all is forgiven for the Divergent films that you were in, and in particular for that ultra lousy Fantastic Four film.
I wanted to ask you about Fantastic Four.
No.
No? Okay, cool.
That you decide to be a part of.
I'm just kidding.
No, I wasn't sure.
So yeah, I like the cast. It's also directed by Todd Phillips. Todd Phillips used to be a director that I guess kind of excited me back in the day. Like, I really liked Old School. I also liked the Starsky and Hutch movie adaptation that he did. Of course, he directed the Hangover films. I mean, I enjoyed the first Hangover film. I think he did too many Hangover films for his own good, and I don't think anybody remembers that awful Due Date movie with Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis. I'm seeing if he can maybe redeem himself. This looks like a bit of an out of left field choice for Phillips as a director, so I'm gonna go see this movie, I'm gonna screen it, and then I'll be back with the review. Something very familiar about that poster.
Say hello to my little friend!
Alright gang, I just got out of War Dogs. I'm going to keep this review relatively quick because I have a splitting headache that's been gnawing away at me since I actually got into the theater.
No! God!
I don't know if it has anything to do with that Maple Ice Cap Supreme and the overdose of caffeine it provided for me. Oh, that punches me in the mouth with flavor.
No! God!
But nevertheless, I'm not feeling great, so anyway, I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet. I really enjoyed War Dogs. War Dogs is really kind of endlessly fascinating. It's for those who are really unfamiliar with it, it's this fact-based film about a couple of guys, one guy named David and Efraim, who are played by Miles Teller and Jonah Hill respectively, who are two up-and-coming arms dealers that were working in the mid to late 2000s. And David was a guy who was sort of semi-down on his luck, didn't have a lot of high career aspirations.
I was a massage therapist in Miami Beach.
Sorry, it fell.
When he reconnected up with his buddy Efraim, who they were high school friends back in the day, who now is a very lucrative and well-off gun runner, basically, making tons of money in the process. So he tries to lure David in.
And now, here I was with my best friend from junior high.
I think you should come work for me.
I'm against this war.
This isn't about being pro-war. This is about being pro-money.
And through a series of fairly lucrative arms deals that they managed to procure, they eventually get embroiled in a very lucrative contract with the American government to supply ammunition to Afghanistan.
How did two 20-something young men land a $300 million Pentagon contract?
You told me you guys were selling bed sheets.
I also told you that we were selling other stuff too.
It gets him into a shitstorm of trouble.
I'm on a watch list. You're on a terrorist watch list?
Do you work for Homeland Security? Relax, bro. This is the job, to do business with the people the U.S. government can't do business with directly.
I was really kind of impressed with the performances in the film. I think Jonah Hill, he might be one of the best actors at playing, you know, duplicitous-minded assholes.
What did you mean by that exactly?
He is so good at playing amoral and untrustworthy jerks.
Oh, okay.
He is crazy good in this movie. I mean, I think there's a reason why he is a movie star now, because he just really immerses himself within this really greedy and seedy character, and I thought he was really good. I've always thought the world of Miles Teller ever since his incredible performance in what was that film that he did that he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor? Rabbit Hole, I think. And of course, I've talked about Whiplash, and he was just, criminally overlooked for an Oscar for Whiplash. And, usually he plays these sort of high-octane, energetic motor mouth characters. And he's a little more timid and reserved in this film, at least initially. And he plays really well off of Jonah Hill. They make for a very spirited pair in this film.
Hey! What? Look! Go!
I like the whole arc of the film, the way that Jonah Hill's character sort of lures him into this potentially corrupt world, primarily through the whole tantalizing aspect of making millions upon millions of dollars.
Don't worry, I have to go first. I'm American.
And it's really an interesting expose of a couple of really young, ambitious-minded, but sort of hopelessly naive men who got in way over their heads. I think the film is also a bit of an indictment of how the American government goes about its business in terms of procuring weapons and ammunition, sort of, lazily turning a blind eye to the origin of said weapons and ammunition. So I like all those aspects in the film, and that's why I found it really fascinating. It's not a film that's politically motivated in any way. It's not really trying to be a commentary piece about the wars in Iraq and the wars in Afghanistan. It's really trying to deal with these two young weapons dealers and gun runners, and it really dives into the microcosm of what these guys sort of had to go through in terms of trying to cement themselves in a very competitive field and industry. And unfortunately, they engage in a lot of chicanery and fraud and a lot of illegal activity, to say the least.
You drove these through the Triangle of Death.
This is a very surprising film from Todd Phillips. Like Todd Phillips, when you think of Todd Phillips, you often think of comedies, but this is really kind of a refreshing change of pace for him. So I think the movie was a sort of rigidly advertised as a comedy. It's more of, I guess, a drama with comedy sprinkled in, but to label it as a comedy, I think, is a bit of a misnomer. I think if there's a few problems with the film, I think this is a frequent complaint I've had with a lot of films recently. Pacing's kind of an issue. I think the film is a little bit too long for its own good. That may seem kind of odd because I just did a review of Ben-Hur, and that was a film that I thought should have been a hell of a lot longer. This is a film that I think sort of wears out its welcome at about the 90 to 100 minute mark, and I think it's just under 2 hours. I think there could have been some material that could have been shaved down. This could have made for a tighter and leaner film, but nevertheless, I was very surprised by War Dogs. It also really comments on how young men are influenced by popular media. I mean, when you look at the poster of the film, I mean, there's obvious Scarface echoes in the poster construction of the film, and the characters reference the Scarface movie a lot in the film. Okay. And there's also a lot of like Scarface Easter eggs planted throughout the film. So I sort of like the commentary that the film engages in on how the gangster lifestyle and the get-rich-quick lifestyle of the Scarface character sort of permeated into the business ethic of Jonah Hill's character, and how he used that to lure Miles Teller's character into his fold, so to speak. So
The triangle of death, bro. We drive through all triangles.
This is definitely a movie that's completely worth seeing, and I think it's one of Todd Phillips' best films. I'm going to come right out and say that. I mean, it's just a really, again, a wonderful change of pace for the director. I think Miles Teller and Jonah Hill are thoroughly engaging in the film, and this is totally worth your time checking out. Okay, so I guess I lied. I went on way longer than I thought, despite my soul-crushing headache. I guess when I see a really good film that impresses me, I really want to talk about it. That's just who I am.
It was that good.
Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the film. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Todd Phillips films are. Let me know what your favorite Jonah Hill and Miles Teller films are. Once again, thank you very much for watching this video. If you could like it, I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you could click that subscribe button, again, that would mean the world to me. Take care, everybody, and I'm gonna go take some Tylenol and deal with this headache, and I'll see you at the movies, everybody. Oh, it's like angels dancing on my tongue.
Oh, God!
Not a good sign.